Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's his story. Hi, Ollie. I just donated on PayPal, and this letter might run long, so I want to apologize in advance. I'm 42. My parents were the epitome of boomer narcissist parents, and I'm hoping my story will help some other Gen Zs or anyone else out there. Well, you're Gen X. You're not Gen Z. You're saying other Gen Zs. You're Gen X. But it could help anyone. Another baby boomer story. Okay. Growing up, I had a much older brother and sister, and a sister 2 years younger than myself. My father worked a lot and was a functioning alcoholic. My mother was caring most of the time, but always nursing a fake illness or injury she had to power through. She did it all. She did all cooking, cleaning, nothing ever out of place and keeping up appearances. From the outside, we looked like the Cleavers, but the dysfunction inside was ridiculous. I'd come home from school to the silent treatment that would last sometimes for weeks without knowing what I did wrong. When it was time for supper, I wouldn't be told before realizing it, I'd missed it and get nothing or sneak around to get something myself. My mother would love to start a sentence with, "Don't tell so-and-so I told you, but," and tell me something negative about another family member. We were pitted against each other constantly, and someone was always in the doghouse. Yeah, I mean, that's just, the baby boomers love their drama. They love their drama. They love their soap opera. You know, they love their living a soap opera. They love it. They love the drama. They love it all. You know, they're the generation that got sucked into the TV culture, that got sucked into the entertainment culture and lived their lives through it and raised their children on it. And then wanted to live their lives emulating it. Whether it started with shows, like, just started with sitcoms that they were trying to emulate, and then, soap operas and Lifetime movies of the week, right up to porn. They want to emulate all of it. They did it. They did all this. Meanwhile, they got all this dysfunction in the house. See, the baby boomer knew how to keep up appearances, a lot of them. They knew how to keep up that Leave It to Beaver image and then just have complete dysfunction behind closed doors. Tells you they knew better. They knew how to do things correctly. They knew how and chose not to for their own selfish reasons. Okay, boomer. They always had to have a common enemy. At night, my father would sit at the kitchen table after polishing off his daily 24 rack, chewing tobacco and staring at a stack of bills and mumbling to himself. If one of us walked in, he'd look at us as he was about to attack. When I was in high school, I'd have to breathe in his face to see if I had been drinking. How would he know? And that's just what they do. They accuse you of doing what they're up to, My mother they always accused me of being on drugs and alcohol, and I never was. Why? Because they were. Not sure how he'd be able to tell anyway, because he was already drunk, but whatever. He used to take me to a lot of sports events, but all that stopped around 6th grade. I'm assuming because his drinking started to get out of control, but I still don't know really. This went on until I was 19, when my father almost died due to drinking. He was in the hospital for over a month after surgery. He recovered and never drank again, and then it still becomes all about him. Oh, what a great job. What a great job he did, right? Good for you, boomer. Good for you. You drank yourself to the point where you almost killed yourself, but now you did the right thing and stopped. So good for you. And guys like this never really sober up. They just become fucking nasty, dry drunks. That's all they become. Pining for that booze their entire life. Since now he was a dry drunk, no one else could drink in front of him, and he still had the same shitty personality he had, but sober. So he's still controlling whether he's drinking or not. Okay? The dry drunk controls everybody through. Still booze is controlling everyone's life. So nobody can drink in front of him because of him. Okay, boomer. Why don't you leave so everybody else can have a good time, boomer? No, that's not the boomer. The boomer is about their good time, their fun time. I can't handle booze without becoming a fucking asshole, okay? So that means nobody can. Great. Whether the alcoholic baby boomer narcissist is drinking or not, they're still controlling you with alcohol. Unbelievable. They turn it all around to a pity party. And not that it's not great that you quit drinking. Of course, anybody who's over drinking and quits, that's a great thing. Okay? But it's these people, these boomers, they want credit for it. Look at me, it's about my drinking and my journey, and fuck off. Okay, boomer. Thanks. You were drinking yourself stupid in the 70s and 80s. Why? You had these stacks of bills at these times. Why? When the economy was good, things were cheap, and yet you still had a pile of bills and taken out on your family. Why? Choices you made, boomer. And then when you finally do the right thing, not because, then you understand something. Okay, with these boomers, most of them, they never just decide, one day it's like, you know what, I just can't do this anymore. I'm hurting my family. I'm hurting everybody around me. I got to stop drinking. No, it takes most of them being on their fucking deathbed, nearly killing themselves with booze before they quit. And when you do that, you lose a lot of credit points. In my opinion. Because you only got sober because you nearly killed yourself with it, not because it was the right thing to do. Okay? You drank yourself to the max you possibly could before you decided to quit, and now you want fucking credit for it? Okay, boomer. Unbelievable. Do you see how they work? Do you see how they condition you? And then you can't drink. Nobody can drink around them. It becomes all about them. You did it! Nobody put that fucking drink in your hand. Nobody told you to, nobody forced you to fucking kill off a 24 pack a night. Those are all decisions you made. Decisions that caused you to nearly fucking drink yourself to death until you decided to finally quit. Wow, you're real brave. And then you want credit. Okay, boomer. Around this time, my mother began abusing prescription medications. Of course they did. Because if it isn't the booze or the coke, it's the pills. Okay? It's all about a party with these people. It's all about a party and pity. Party, then pity. Party, then pity. Rinse, repeat. That's the baby boomer. Party, pity, rinse, repeat. Alcohol, coke, booze, nearly kill yourself, rinse, repeat. Okay, boomer. She'd fall asleep, smoking, talk crazy, and do stupid things. When I got married at 26, I was finally out of that hellhole, and it felt great. I went no contact for the first time at 34, and the reason why is still sort of a mystery. My youngest sister, the golden child, and her husband and their 3 kids moved back in with them because they got kicked out of their apartment. My parents didn't know at the time that they had both become hard drug users. Well, what a shock. What a shock. Children of Gen X drug users become drug users themselves. What a shock. Baby boomer drug Gen X children of baby boomer drug users become drug users themselves. Sorry, I'm stumbling all over that. I'm sure my sister began telling them all sorts of terrible things about myself and my wife to take the heat off of herself, and no one spoke to us again. Was always a common enemy. Right, you. Right, you're just the baby boomer's common enemy. I mean, that's just it. That's what being the scapegoat is. That's what being the black sheep is. You're the common enemy. For everybody to use. Eventually, my sis and her family were kicked out, and they moved in with her in-laws, which happened to be about 5 doors down from my parents, and stopped speaking to them. I always stayed in contact with my older brother and sister, and they let me know that my mother was very ill and wouldn't last much longer, a little less than 2 years ago. My wife and I decided we should go see her in the hospital and make amends. Big mistake. Big mistake. She made her bed, let her die in it. She made her bed, let her die in it. We walked into her room in the ICU. Everyone was there, and it was like nothing happened, and we never skipped a beat. My mother even put my wife as an emergency contact. My mother came home on hospice, and we were all together again, except my sister. It was good for a little while, but ever so slowly things began to erode again because of my father. A week before my mother died, my father and I had a huge blowout in their house with my 11-year-old son hiding in their bathroom because of the screaming. He's not used to that in our house. The fight ended with my father screaming at me while my son and I were getting in the car. You'll read about your dying mother in the paper. And we never spoke again. She died a week later. Hey, join the club. Who cares? Who cares? I know you think you made amends with this baby boomer. There is no making amends with a baby boomer. Okay? Because they are going to fuck you in the end every time. There is no making amends with a baby boomer. Not on their deathbed, not on your deathbed, not if they're in the hospital, nothing. Not if you have new children, a new wife. There is no making amends with these people. They will fuck you every time. There's no making amends once you've got once you're no contact from the narcissist in general, there's no making amends with it. Double so for the baby boomer. Obviously, it was upsetting since going no contact again, but it's for the best, and this time it's for good. I'm thankful for my wife, who's known me since I was 14 and who's been beside me through all this drama. My advice for people who go no contact is to stick to it. Your first gut instinct is usually 100% right. Thank you, Ollie, for your channel. It really helps out a lot of people just hearing other stories. Anonymous. Yeah, you got it at the end too. Once you're no contact, stay that way. And there is no making amends with the baby boomer. Ever. So, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution and your story, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to have a private video made, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.